What's up guys, welcome back. In today's video I'll be talking about the anxious avoidant dynamic or cycle and why it is so difficult to get out of it once you find yourself in a relationship with either an avoidant or an anxiously attached individual and you are the opposite of it. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about the characteristics of such a relationship, and then I'll finalize with talking about why the dynamic is so strong. So in the characteristics, number one is you will identify that there is a pull and push between you guys. There is one who is pushing and pursuing the other and wants validation and constant reassurance, and then there is the other who is pulling away and feeling like they want to be entrapped into the relationship and now they have to be responsible for the other individual. The one who is pursuing is the anxiously attached individual. The one who is being pursued is the avoidant in the relationship. Now, I would like you to understand the relational strategies of an avoidant and the relational strategies of an anxiously attached individual. For an avoidant, they do not require the relationship to be okay. They are independent and self-reliant, and they are able to self-regulate themselves. The anxious individual relates in terms of, I need you to be okay in order for me to be okay, or I need you to tell me that you're okay in order for me to feel okay. And those are the characteristics that are common when you find individuals in a relationship where one is avoidant and the other is anxiously attached. So next, let's answer the question, why is it so hard to get out of such a relationship? Even though you might be consciously aware that it is not serving me well, it is not serving my mental health well, it is so difficult to just cut it off and say that I'm done and that's it. You might say that you're done and you go, but then after a while you come back, and so it becomes a cycle that reinforces itself. I would love to teach you about something called the shadow. And the shadow is the part of your personality that growing up you repressed in order to connect with the environment and for survival. So these are the feelings, thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and impulses that as a child you suppressed, because whenever you would bring them up, they would be met with disgust or rejection. So you learned to suppress them in order for you to relate well with your caregivers in the environment. So for an avoidant, their shadow self is the part of them that is vulnerable and opens up about their needs, because when they were growing up, whenever they showed that part of themselves, it would be met by disgust or rejection from their caregiver. So they learned that it is better to be independent in order for me to relate well with the environment that I am in. So for anxiously attached individuals, they learned from an early age to express their emotional needs in order for them to be met, and if they did not let them be known, then they would be faced with rejection from their caregiver. And then what ended up going into the shadow is the aspect of being self-reliant. So these shadow aspects in human beings are unconscious. It is not something that you just actively think about. It is something that you suppressed earlier on, and so this is not a part of your personality that you have connected with. This is not a part of you that you know how to handle. So when these two people find themselves in a relationship, it is difficult to live, because basically the part of me that I feel I lack, you have. So let's use this example. The part of an avoidant that they feel they lack, which is ability to express themselves and be vulnerable, the anxious person has. The part of the anxious attached person that they feel they lack, which is self-dependence, the avoidant has. Basically, both of you are reaffirming each other's world's view. The world view of an avoidant is that I'm okay, I don't need the relationship to be fine, I'm fine on my own, and the anxious attached person is the problem, or the other person is the problem. Now, for an anxious person, your belief is that I'm not okay, but the other person is okay, and they're able to be self-dependent. So you see that in this dynamic, you're both reinforcing your beliefs about the world. Sometimes you will find that you're not even in love with that individual, but you're just drawn to the characteristics that you see in them that in you don't have. And so it becomes so hard to let go of such a situation because it complements so well, until it gets to the point where now, as the anxious attached person, you need constant reassurance, but the avoidant misinterprets this as you're becoming too clingy and you're trying to entrap them into a relationship. And when the avoidant needs space, now the anxious attached person misinterprets it as you don't love me anymore and you don't want to spend time with me. So the reason why this dynamic can be toxic is because when you guys try to establish closeness, there is inevitability of conflict. If you've watched this video to the end, I absolutely appreciate your presence. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section, and I will see you guys next week.